Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to continue with 2019 Grade 2 Practice Paper C. And we're starting with question 3, so if you turn with me to page 12, we can have a look at this together. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this on your own first of all. And now we'll check through these answers together. So we're just jumping between the treble and the bass clef to name these notes as given. And so let's just refresh your memory on the treble clef notes, the lines. If you just remember a little poem or whatever you like, every good boy deserves football, E, G, B, D, F. Could be every green bus drives fast, whatever you fancy to help you to remember. And the spaces spell face, F-A-C-E. In the bass clef, it's as if everything drops down a line or drops down a space. And so in the bass clef, it would be good boys deserve football always. And A-C-E-G, all cows eat grass. So that's our starting point, and then we just got to count to work out from there. So we've been given one here, so that will help us to get started, because we know it's every good boy deserves football. F is the top line, and then counting up in steps, F, G, A. Alternatively, you could count down the octave, counting this as number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know the spaces spell face, F-A-C-E. And so we know that we're on note A, but an octave higher than we've just worked out. And so as we've just said, we know that the bass clef begins with bottom G, good boys deserve football always. And so for this to be G, it must be bass clef. There we go. And so we've already mentioned how this top line was F when we were working out this note here. So it's treble clef, every good boy deserves football. So that's treble clef. Now then here we've gone off the stave going down. And so you could either work out that we know it's, for example, in the treble clef, every good boy. So E, D, C, B tells us that it's treble clef, but also remember that middle C is the first ledger line at the bottom of the stave. Remember, it's like it's meeting at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass, meeting in the middle. And so if that's middle C, one below is B in the treble clef. There we go. And so now moving on to the next question, we can see that we're stepping down further into the treble clef, because if that was a B, then A, then G. So that tells us it's treble clef, working from middle C, C, B, A, G. Alternatively, if you want to be double checking that, you can count up an octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to G, every good, an octave higher. The only thing to watch out for when you're doing that is just make sure that you always count this given note as number 1. So there we go, treble clef for sure. Pressing on, and so now we're back on the stave, and this has to be bass clef, good boys deserve football always, otherwise it would be an F. We've already seen that it can't be a treble clef, it must be bass clef. So we're going much lower now. Now we know that this can't be treble clef because we've already worked out that would be a G in treble clef, so it should be bass clef. Let's count up an octave to double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know in the bass clef the lines are good boys. There we go, an octave lower, so bass clef. Next one, so let's count down the octaves and see what we get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the space, 8 is the line, and so that means we must be in the treble clef. Every good boy deserves D, an octave higher, so we must be in the treble clef now. Next one, and so we've just mentioned previously about middle C being at the bottom of the treble and the top of the bass, and so this is middle C in the bass clef, C sharp of course. However, if we want to just count that out from a point on the stave, we know the bass clef goes good boys deserve football always, A is the line, B is the space, C is the next line, so middle C in the bass clef. And so this can't be treble clef, otherwise it would be middle C, and so it must be bass clef. And let's just double check that. We know that the lines are good boys deserve and so on, so G is the line, F is the next space down, and then E is one below that, so it is indeed bass clef. And then here we know that the spaces in the treble clef spell face, so F-A-C-E, so treble clef F sharp. And that's that question completed. Let's press on to the next one. And so now we need to reorder these notes from the shortest to the longest. They've given us the shortest here. So you could perhaps just do it visually because you know that dots make notes longer and so on, but let's just do the maths. So let's count each of these out in terms of crotchet beat values or quarter note values. So we know that a minim, a half note, is 2 crotchet beats plus the dot, which is half as long again, so that's 3 crotchet beats, 3 quarter notes. Now we know that a quaver, an eighth note, is half of a crotchet beat. And then half of that half is a quarter. So altogether this one is 3/4 of a crochet beat. This one they've given to us, this is a quarter, a semi-quaver is a quarter of a crochet beat. If we just diagram that out, you can see 1 quarter note, 1 crochet, 2 quavers, and then if you divide again, we've got 4 semi-quavers, 4/4 of a beat, give us 1 beat. And so now here is a crochet beat, which of course is 1. There's 1 quarter note beat, and half as much again is 1 1/2. That's just a 1 beat in terms of crochet beats, quarter note beats, and there's a half, our quaver or eighth note. So now we've got the maths, we can see. So we've got the quarter, that's gone, quarter of a beat. And so the next one is going to be a half of a beat. That's the next longest up. Then, of course, the next one, a dot after a note, makes it half as long again. So we're going from a half to 3/4. So the dot makes it half as long again. The next one is our full crochet beat, a 1 beat note. And then of course a dot after that makes it half as long again, so 1 1/2. And then that just leaves us with the dotted minim, the dotted half note, which is worth 3 crochet beats, 3/4 notes. There we go, that one's done. Scrambles my brain a bit, this one does. I have to really sort of diagram that out. Let's press on to the next question. And so in question 5 we are asked to give the number of these harmonic intervals. Harmonic meaning that they come together as a chord or a harmony, unlike melodic intervals that come one after each other, as in a melody. And we're always counting from the lowest note first. The key is B flat major, and B flat is the first. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us a fifth. The only way you'll go wrong is if you forget to count the given note as number 1. And so here we're counting from B flat in the treble clef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting line, space, and so on. So that's a seventh. And if you wanted to just double check that, what you could do is just step out the degrees of the scale. I'm going backwards. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. There's our octave from bottom B up an octave. Degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And so we can see that we've gone from a note B flat, of course, but your key signature deals with all of that, to F, G, A, and there's our seventh, so we know that's correct. So let's count this next interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a sixth, and we can double check that because from B flat to G in the treble clef we can see G is indeed the sixth, so we know we've not miscounted. Let's look at this next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an octave, and we've gone from B to B, B flat of course, to B flat with the key signature. You can see that's middle C, one below, so we've gone from B to B, a whole octave. So you could say octave or you could say eighth, either of those will do. Back into the treble, still counting from B flat, so counting 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a fourth, and that note there, F, A, C, E, we've gone from a B flat to an E flat, B to E. Your key signature deals with everything else, we can see that's a fourth. And then finally, way down in the bass clef, we have a really low B flat, 1, 2, 3, that's a third, and we know that bottom note is B, C, D. And if you want to just check that, let's count what note that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can see that's a D, an octave lower. It's easy enough to just count them, but if you wanted to double check, that's the way to do it. So that's that question completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. I hope that you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be super. And please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And please do also visit sharonbill.com and have a browse around all the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.